Hey everyone, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you joined. If you're not new, welcome back. Air hug. So thankful that you came back. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. For those of you who don't know, my name is Libby. I do all kinds of content from what I eat in the day, mental health awareness, reviews, vlogs, dog content, everything. So, like I said, don't forget to hit the subscribe notification button. But this week, I really felt like I needed first to touch on, for those of you who have followed me, you're like, what is this? The hair. I got it blonde again, like blonde, but bangs. This is the first time since elementary school that I've had bangs. But a T-Swift can rock it, I gotta rock it too. That's all it needs to be said. Now on to the video. So on a more serious note, this week is Infertility Awareness Week. And of course, I could not let that week go by without making a video. And I kind of wanted to get a feel for what I wanted this video to entail. And I really feel like this is kind of funny and ironic in a mixed up way timing that it's Infertility Awareness Week, because the last few weeks have been kind of eye-opening. For those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with Turner syndrome when I was 16, so 10 years ago, actually. And Turner syndrome is where one of my X chromosomes didn't fully develop, so I don't really have a working ovary. Yeah. So that leads to not producing eggs and not being able to have kids. Yeah. So that's where the infertility comes in, obviously. Obviously, though, it's been 10 years since I was originally diagnosed with this. So you might be wondering, what's up? It's been 10 years. And a lot has happened during those 10 years. I originally kind of blew off the diagnosis and just used my eating disorder, because I also have anorexia, for those who don't know. I used my eating disorder to cope and kind of blew off the diagnosis until, honestly, a couple years ago. In 2019, I think it was, I was put into eating disorder treatment, inpatient, because that's the only thing that was offered here in the state besides outpatient, which it actually is no longer offered. Thank you, Iowa. I was put in inpatient 4 times within a year, and I started to kind of open up to the idea of talking about it and acknowledging it, but not really. And then in 2021, in the very beginning, I was put back into treatment, but had to go across the country after getting medical help to a residential treatment. And that's when I really started to fully but at least acknowledge my diagnosis and talk about it with my therapist and even with my husband more transparently, because obviously my husband knew and we talked about it. Well, then he was my fiance. But my now husband, we had talked about it. He knew about it. It's not like I was hiding it from him or anyone in my life. Like, my parents knew, my siblings knew, but like, I didn't really fully acknowledge it. Like, I just kind of pushed it under the bridge. So I've been kind of working on acknowledging it the last couple years, because it's been, this August will be 2 years since I was sent home from Florida and residential treatment. And I worked on acknowledging it and working through it and discussing kind of like all the stuff that went along with that. Even in pre-marriage counseling, we talked about it, and now in marriage counseling, because yes, we're doing marriage counseling still. Like, we turned pre-marriage counseling into marriage counseling because No, our marriage is not failing, but therapy is helpful, and I will argue this till the day I die. Therapy is important, it is helpful, it is amazing. You should not be ashamed of it. So yes. So it's something that I've talked about the last few years. But it is something that's still really hard, but I feel like the last few weeks I've really turned from acknowledging to accepting. And you might be wondering, what does that exactly mean? As my husband pointed out, those are kind of two separate different things. Acknowledging and accepting are two different things, especially when it comes to infertility. And so the last few weeks, and this is really heartbreaking, I'm sorry. I have really started to let go of this perfect dream I had since starting to accept the Turner syndrome diagnosis. And that was that I'm going to use the money I set aside to do IVF and have a baby, and boom, bam, boom, done. I kind of been accepting the fact that I don't know what our future holds as a family. I don't know, even if I did IVF, if it would work. IVF obviously isn't a guarantee. Ezra, come up here. He's such a cuddle bug. He's such a comfort bug. Say hi. Say hi. Can you lay down? They want to hear mommy talking and not just you going. Thank you. He knows when I'm feeling sad. Like I was saying, I don't know where our infertility journey is going to take us, and I don't know what that means as a family. And I don't know if IVF is the right thing. I don't know. And accepting the fact that I may never be able to walk through our front door with a kid in my hand that's mine. It's hard. Because yes, I know I've found out 10 years ago I had infertility, but things have really shifted. Like, I just had this picture of, oh, I'm going to do IVF and have a kid. But I've come to accept the fact that I can't control what happens, and I don't know if IVF, even if what our family should do, because especially at least right now in the season of life, I do not feel I could go through a round of IVF and have it fail and come back from that. I truly, Blake and I have talked about this. Neither one of us feel right now I could go through IVF and have it fail and be okay. I don't know if I'm strong enough for that, could survive that right now. I think it would just be too heartbreaking, and I don't know if that's something I'll ever be able to get through. I don't know if I'll ever come to the place where I feel strong enough that I can do IVF and be okay with the outcome does not. And so I've really come to accept the fact that I may not ever be ready for that path, and I may not be able to actually be a human mom, a mom to a human child. And going from just acknowledging that I have Turner syndrome and that it means some infertility struggles, to truly accepting the fact that I don't know if going I don't know if I had this vision of, after being married for a little while, going through IVF and starting a family, and I truly have accepted the fact that I don't know if that's what's best for our family. And the fact that Blake and I may just be dog parents our whole life. And that's really hard. When you grow up your whole life thinking the only thing you'll be able to do successfully in life is be a mother, and that feels like it's just ripped from you, is very, very hard. It shakes you to your core. And for me, my way of dealing with that was my eating disorder, using those behaviors as a comfort, and not having that, it's hard. But I know there's so many people who deal with infertility that are in the same boat as I am, and going through their own journey and own struggles and going through their own situation, because even though we all have infertility, for one reason or another, each journey and each story is so different. And I just am sending love and hugs to all those dealing with such a traumatic thing. And yes, I do mean the word traumatic. It is not some easy peasy lemon squeezy simple thing you can just slap a band-aid on, slap a pill in your mouth, or it is a very hard thing to deal with. And I think it's also something to be mindful about when you ask someone, oh, when are you going to start a family, or when are we going to have grandkids? Like, there may be more there than what meets the eye, and to be mindful of those things. You never know what someone's going through. Thank you for watching. I love you all. For all those who are struggling, you're not alone. Thank you.